Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you don't know anything about me, I love Marvel. I love Marvel and One Direction. As you can see by that wall, that's all One Direction members. But what you can't see is the Marvel-ness of my room. There's a lot of Marvel in my room. But anyway, I digress. So I thought it would be fun in today's video to showcase some of my Marvel collection. Today's video is just going to be like the books and magazines that I have that relate to Marvel. And tomorrow's video will be like the actual like figures and all that stuff, like all the popcorn buckets and stuff. But for now, we're just gonna do the books and the magazines I have. I'm gonna start with the books, and yeah, let's get into it. So one of the first books I have is this book called Stan Lee, The Man Behind Marvel. And this one is just like about Stan Lee and how he like created Marvel and all of that stuff. So that's pretty cool to have. And then the next book I have is called A Marvelous Life, The Amazing Story of Stan Lee, which is also, once again, kind of the same like as this one, but different book written by a different person. So yeah, this was actually one of the first like Marvel books I got, which is pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, the next book I have is called The Wakanda Files, and this is actually a really cool book. So it kind of is like interactive in a way, and there's like photos of a bunch of different stuff in Wakanda, and has information about all the suits and everything that are in all the Marvel movies, so all the different Iron Man suits and all of that, which I thought was pretty cool. And then this one is the next one. It's Black Panther: The Ultimate Guide. It was only $5, what a steal, and it has like the characters and stuff in it, which is very cool, and it gives you like a synopsis on all the characters so you can know about them, which is very like interesting and cool to read if you're like new and you don't know many of the Marvel characters. So keeping up with the Black Panther theme, the next book I have is called Why Wakanda Matters, and this is actually less about Marvel and more about the impact that Black Panther had like on culture and community, and how important it was for people to see representation, which is a very good read. So if you're looking for kind of a book like that, this is a really cool one. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, moving on from that, I have this book called Bad Motherfucker. It's about Samuel Jackson and his career in all the movies that he's been in. So not necessarily about Marvel, but he is a Marvel actor. If you guys don't know, he plays Nick Fury in the Marvel movies. So that's why I have this one, and I consider it part of my Marvel collection. The next book I have is We Were Dreamers by Simu Liu, and a really interesting story behind this book. I wanted it obviously because I love Marvel, I love actors. It's very interesting to me to read their biographies and stuff. And he tweeted out like, does anyone have any questions about the book? And so I asked him what his favorite chapter was that he wrote, and he responded to it, and I was like, well, he responded to the tweet, I have to get it now. So I went to the bookstore like that day and got it. So yes, it's a very good book about his journey and his family's journey and how he landed the role of Shang-Chi. So I enjoyed it. The next book is also about an actor. It's by Jeff Goldblum. I love Jeff Goldblum. I think everyone does. He's hilarious. Just his charisma. I forgot the word. But just his charisma and like just his personality as a whole is truly incredible. I love him in Jurassic Park. I love him in Marvel. If you guys don't know, he plays the Grand Master in Thor Ragnarok. So yeah, that's why I have this one, and that's why it's in my Marvel collection. So the next book I have may not seem like it's a Marvel book, but I promise you it's related. So this is called Hattie Harmony, Worry Detective, which is a children's book, yes, but it is written by Elizabeth Olsen, who, if you guys don't know, plays Scarlet Witch in the Marvel movies. So that's why she's in my Marvel collection. Also, this is a really good book. It's a children's book, but it's a really good book for people with anxiety, which I have. So it's a fun little read if you're looking for a little book to read. But yeah, it's very nice. The next book I have is this book. Marvel Studios: The First 10 Years, which is very interesting, and it goes through like all the movies in the first 10 years. Well, most of the movies in the first 10 years and the characters that were in those movies and stuff. And it's very exciting. So yeah, it's a pretty cool book to have in my collection. Now, this next book is a very small book. It's called The Little Book of the Avengers, and it's very interesting. It's kind of like the comic book covers and all this stuff, just like about the Avengers. Lots of pictures, not a whole lot of reading, but lots of pictures, so that's a fun little book to have. And then I have this book, which is kind of like a magazine. It's about Chadwick Boseman, and I literally sobbed when he passed away. So when I saw this book, I just knew like I had to get it. It's about him and his role, all his like movie roles and stuff. He was an incredible actor. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. You inspired a lot of people. And so yeah, it's just cool to have this book to read it when you miss him or anything like that. And it's very educational for somebody who might not know a lot about Chadwick Boseman. It goes through all of his roles, and it's just very fun. It's a very educational read. This next book is actually very cool to me, which is why I got it, obviously. But it is The Book of Ashanti, and I don't know if you guys have seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but in the beginning of that movie, they're looking for this book. So it's like movie accurate. It has like the spells that the Scarlet Witch uses and all that stuff, which is pretty cool to have. And I love when they make books like that kind of tie in with the movie. It's very interesting to me. The next book that I have is The Avengers, The Ultimate Character Guide. What I like to do with this is whenever there's a new Marvel movie coming out, I'll just open this one up, read about the characters that are in the upcoming movie to maybe learn about them if I don't, because obviously I haven't read all the comics. So it's just kind of nice to have like a guide like this for the characters, so you know what they do before the movie comes out. And it has like a lot of characters in here, some maybe well known, some not as well known, but it's a very nice like little cheat sheet to have. And if you're like a new person and you're trying to get into Marvel, it's good to have a book like this. So yeah, very exciting. Going along with that last book, I have this absolutely humongous Marvel encyclopedia, which is basically the same as the last book except way bigger and includes like every character ever and like a bunch of information about them. So like it's in alphabetical order, obviously. It's like a encyclopedia, but I do the same thing with this one. Bring it out, read about the new characters coming in the movies if I don't know about them. So if you're, like I said, if you're new to Marvel and you're trying to get into it, it's good to have an encyclopedia or a book like that kind of tells you about the characters. Or, you know, you could just use Google. Same thing. Now we're kind of moving into comic book territory. So I have this one. Spider-Man is my favorite character. I love Spider-Man. I always have. He's just my favorite Marvel character. Kind of basic, I know, but whatever. So I have this one, which is The Amazing Spider-Man, and it's not every comic written about him, because obviously not, but it starts off with a little like introduction to who Spider-Man is and kind of how he was written and stuff like that. You can't really see it, but there are words on the page, I promise. And then it goes into actual comics that he was in. So it's some actual comics he was in and some like just explaining the comic and all of that stuff. So it's very interesting for Spider-Man fans. Then also about Spider-Man, I have this book, comic book, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3, Double Trouble, which is literally just a comic, but it's very interesting to read. I love comic books, I love Marvel, so yeah. So I don't have that many comic books, but I do have a few other ones. I have Avengers Infinity War, like the prelude, which is very fun. I read it before Infinity War came out to have a kind of a gist of what happened. So honestly, not that hard to read. It's a comic book, you know, but the pictures are amazing. Then I have this, Avengers Season 1. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. I found it at Five Below, and I mean, I bought it. So it's a comic book. I just don't know like what. It's literally just called Avengers. So it's just Avengers. I don't know what to tell you, but pretty fun. It was $5. I think it was less than $5 actually, but so you can't beat that, so I got it. Anyway, then I have Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Spider-Man, yeah. Very fun. Once again, pictures in the comic books, absolutely incredible. And then I have Avengers Endgame. So, yeah. Obviously, their drawings, their comic books. Like, of course the drawings are good. Duh. But those are kind of all the comic books I have. I use Marvel Unlimited to read the comic books, so I don't really own that many physical comic books, but I want to get more, so yeah. Moving on, I have this, which is not a comic book or a magazine. It is literally just like the movie posters for the movies in the Infinity Saga. And I couldn't tell you where I got it from or why I have it, because I literally have the movie posters up on my wall. But yeah, those are all the ones in there. So I just got it because it has Marvel on it, I think is what that is. But I really don't know why I have it, to be honest with you. Then I have this. For the record, I do not support Jared Leto, and I don't think he's a good person, and I don't think he's attractive. But he is a Marvel actor in a roundabout way. He played Morbius. Like, I'm sorry. I do not support him. But, he is a Marvel actor, which is why I have this. And I did not personally buy it. My grandfather bought it for me because he saw the words Marvel on the cover, and he knew that I liked Marvel. So, but I do not support this man. I do have it though, so, you know, whatever. And it is in this video because he is a Marvel actor. I do not support him. I think he's a terrible person. I also have this, Another Men's Health with Jeremy Renner on the cover, who I'm also not a fan of. But you know, he is a Marvel actor. He does play Hawkeye, so, and he makes like okay music, I guess. So yeah, I have that. Now an actor who I do love and support, Benedict Cumberbatch. She's on the cover of Esquire, looking fabulous as always. And so yeah, I have that one. Now another Marvel actor I love, Oscar Isaac, who is funnily enough also on the cover of Esquire. He plays Moon Knight, if you guys don't know. Anyway, I love him dearly. I think he's very funny, and I love the show Moon Knight. So I saw that, and he looks fantabulous, so I had to get it. Then this, The Story of Zendaya. I've never met somebody who didn't like Zendaya, and I mean, look at her. She's drop dead gorgeous. So yeah, that's why I have that. She's a Marvel actor, plays MJ, in case you guys are not aware. So then I have The Ultimate Guide to Thor, which is just about all the Thor movies leading up to Thor Love and Thunder, and about all the characters in the Thor movies, and it's a fun little read. Then I have this Total Film magazine with Thor Love and Thunder on the cover, and it talks about Thor Love and Thunder inside of it, but yeah. Then I have this SFX magazine, which at the very top it says Moon Knight. Obviously the cover isn't Moon Knight, the cover's Halo, but it does have an article about Moon Knight in it, which is why it's in the Marvel collection. And same thing with this, Total Film magazine. Obviously that's not Moon Knight on the cover, that's Northman, which I don't know what that is because I've never seen it, but it talks about Moon Knight right there, Marvel's Moon Knight, like on the cover. So it talks about it within the magazine, which is very fun. So yeah. Then we have Los Angeles Times, The World of Marvel, with all the characters on the cover, and the whole entire magazine is about Marvel and just talks about like all the movies and stuff. So how fun. Then I have 2 copies of this, which I got when I went to see the movie Eternals on opening day in theaters, and it's literally just like covers of comic books that the Eternals were in. So, but it's pretty cool. I went and saw it with a friend who didn't want their thing, so that's why I have 2 of them. Then I have this magazine, which is called The Marvel Universe. Once again, talks about all the characters and all the movies up until a certain one. So yeah. Then I have Entertainment, The Guide to the Avengers, basically a lot of these magazines are the same premise. They just talk about the movies and all the characters and stuff. And I'm an idiot, so I buy them every time. Because what if there's different information in one? Same thing with this, Time, the Story of Marvel. This one actually, I think the beginning talks about, like the comic books and Stan Lee and how he created them and all of that. So that's fun. Then I have Marvel, Avengers, An Insider's Guide to the Avengers films. Once again, just talks about the characters in the movie and the movies themselves. Then we have another Time magazine, The World of Marvel this time. Different cover than before. A lot of these have the same titles and like similar pictures on the front, but I buy them every time, so I don't really know what to tell you about it. But yeah. Then I have an Entertainment Weekly magazine, which has WandaVision on the cover because I got this around the time that TV show came out, so it was like promo for that show. Very fun. And then I have this magazine, The Ultimate Guide to Spider-Man, which talks about Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and of course Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I'm pretty sure it talks about Spider-Man in the comics too. So yeah. Then I also have this one. If you couldn't tell, love Spider-Man, obviously. I have this Time magazine, which is the story of Spider-Man, and it's just about Spider-Man and how he's created. And big shocker here, I have another one about Spider-Man. So yeah, same premise, but different covers. So whatever. Then I have this Empire magazine with Doctor Strange on the cover. Because I got this around the time Multiverse of Madness came out, so that's when I get a lot of these. But yeah. Then I have The Ultimate Guide to Doctor Strange. Talks about all the Doctor Strange movies except Multiverse of Madness, and just about the character and how it came to be from the comic books to the movies. Then I have The Ultimate Guide to the Eternals. Lots of Ultimate Guides here if you guys couldn't tell. But yeah, it talks about all the different Eternals and what their powers are, what they do, how they came to be, you know, all of that sort of thing. Then we have The Ultimate Guide to Black Widow. Very fun, very interesting read. Talks about all the characters in the movie and how she came to be. Then I have this film magazine with Black Widow on the cover. Fun little story about this. It actually has the wrong date on it. Like, the date that the movie comes out is wrong because Black Widow was scheduled to come out and then COVID happened. So this has the wrong date on it, which I think is a fun little tidbit of information. So yeah. Then I have this Empire magazine with Shang-Chi on the cover, and it just talks about Shang-Chi. And it also, if you guys can't see right there, it talks about Loki, the TV show. So that's pretty fun. It's like a double whammy. Then I have this magazine, Stan Lee, A Life of Marvel. So yeah, just talks about Stan Lee, how he created Marvel, and his life. Then I have, this one's gonna be fun, this AARP magazine, which actually came from my aunt. She saw it, like it got sent to her house because she's older, and she gave it to me because, if you see in the corner right there, I talked about Stan Lee for a little bit. So I thought it was pretty fun, you know. Then I have this magazine, which I don't know how to say because I'm pretty sure that's French, but it has Sebastian Stan on the cover, whom I adore dearly. And so, you know, a fun little, he's on the cover, it talks about him. Marvel actor, plays Bucky, or the Winter Soldier, but, you know, for how fun. Then I have this Esquire magazine with Tom Holland on it. Absolutely adore Tom Holland. Probably my favorite actor and the one who really got me into loving films. So he's on the cover of this. He plays Spider-Man. And I also have a GQ magazine with the cover being of him. So yeah, how exciting. So then I have Elle magazine with Zendaya on the cover of it, who plays MJ in the Marvel movies. And it's just like a little interview with her, but you know, still in the Marvel collection. And I have this film magazine, which talks about Spider-Man for a little bit in it. Although he's not on the cover. It says Spider-Man on the cover, but the cover is of Scream, so still talks about Marvel though. Then I have a Celebration of Black Film magazine. One, because I love reading about film and how representation is worn, because I want to be an actor and a filmmaker. So I love reading about that. But also, it talks about Black Panther in here. Right there in the corner, he is. And so that's why that's in my Marvel collection. Then I have this. No, I'm not stupid. I understand that Batman's on the cover here, and I know Batman isn't a Marvel, but this talks about a Marvel movie. I promise you. Let me find what Marvel movie it talks about, and I'll be back. Okay, see, look, this tiny little section right here talks about Spider-Man. So yes, even though Batman is on the cover, it talks about Marvel for a little bit. So that's why it's still in the Marvel collection. Also, I don't watch DC, so I don't have a DC collection, but anyway. Then I have this film magazine, which technically, yes, is not Marvel, but it has Tom Holland on the cover, about his movie Uncharted, and it also talks about Morbius for a bit. So I still count it as Marvel. So yes, that's why that's in the collection. So we are coming up on like the last of the magazines in my collection. So first we have this People magazine that came out when Chadwick Boseman died. I love him dearly. Once again, R.I.P. He was an amazing actor and he died way too soon. But I do have this in the Marvel collection, so yeah. Then I have this Vanity Fair magazine, which has Andrew Garfield on the cover, and also Benedict Cumberbatch is in here, along with Simu Liu. So 3 different Marvel actors are in here. How exciting. So that's why that's there. Then I have People magazine, Sexiest Man Alive edition, with Paul Rudd on the cover, who plays Ant-Man, hence why that's in the collection. Then we have Esquire magazine with Jake Gyllenhaal on the cover, who plays Mysterio in the Spider-Man films. Well, not the Spider-Man films, but in Spider-Man Far From Home. Then I have a Men's Health magazine with Michael B. Jordan on the cover, who plays Killmonger. So yeah, that's why that's there. And those are the last magazines, but I also, in the collection, have a little Marvel coloring book, which I have not colored in, but you know, how exciting. So yeah, that is all of the Marvel books and magazines in my collection, and I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, like and subscribe. Tomorrow's video will be all of the figures and just like collectibles in my Marvel collection. So yeah, enjoy, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss a post. Anyway, love you guys, have a good day.